New Fire Emblem Gauge trailer just dropped. We're gonna go through this. Honestly, the only reaction I can describe is shock and genuinely elation. This new monastery that they're doing. Oh my god. We'll talk by bit. First off, I think one of the main things I want to talk about, how much of an iteration this is on the monastery. For context on my thoughts on the monastery, I despised the monastery in Three Houses. It was a mess, crashed the pacing of the game. And initially when I saw that they're bringing it back, I was skeptical that they would be able to get it right. But it seems like here they've really streamlined it and focused up. Now, of course, you've got your standard activities like the armory, the shops, all that type of stuff. That's to be expected to be here. I think the biggest surprise that we get, this new ring system that they're using and messing around with, and a whole room dedicated to it where you see, all the pedestals with the rings and what they're adding here. And of course, the ring petting, like this is so insane, so ridiculous. It's bizarre. I don't know what timeline we're in anymore. I'm not opposed to it, to be honest. I just hope it's not too tedious to do and it doesn't take too long. And I don't mind little touches like this. You know what? I do hope, if there's lots of minigames that you have to constantly do throughout the game, maybe that could go back into the problem of Three Houses dragging down the pacing again. But I don't mind cute, fun stuff like this. And it seems like the game has a lot of this. A bunch of new, cute, fun little features to kind of liven up the monastery, make it a bit more fun. So you know what? Ring cleaning? Sure. Why not? Why not clean the rings? I guess. It's bizarre. But you know what? Sure. Let's go with that, ring cleaning. Of course, I'm getting ahead of myself in terms of talking about the rings because we also have this gacha ring system where you can get rings of characters from all throughout the series that have little mini effects. Like some of these have a bit more or a different rank. You got change the stats a little bit. You know what? Fun way for characters to make a cameo. It doesn't look like they'll have a huge impact anyway, like +1s. Maybe a +4 in there or plus a bit here. But it looks like the focus is probably going to be on those, main character rings. And these side character rings are kind of like pad out the rest of your roster and, have a bit of fun with some existing assets. This being a gacha system, a pull system, I don't really take it or leave it. It doesn't matter to me. It's just cool to have them in here. I don't think it's going to have too big of an impact. It's just a cool little feature to kind of backfill probably your empty ring slots that aren't going to your, MC type characters. So you know what? All cool with me. Moving on to, I guess, the social features. The amount of interaction and what you can do with the characters around this new monastery area. I really love what they've been doing here. I think the combination of, giving people unique outfits and them actually being active in the world and doing stuff and having it animated. Like we see them, I think, swimming at some points, just chilling out in other locations and custom clothing that you can change around. Like it brings it a lot more to life to me than the monastery ever was. Also, customizing the outfits, oh my god, I will do that all day. Finding, buying, getting the outfits in the game and matching them to the characters that I want them to wear, oh my god, yes. It's actually near the top of my list of things I'm excited to do. But you know what, hey, that's just, a bit of a guilty pleasure for me, and I'm glad they're indulging me. And now we get to the activities. When I look at these activities, it looks like to me, this is what they wish they could have done in Three Houses. It really looks like it, because Three Houses did have activities, it did have fishing, and fishing was a game, but it seems like that's the only game that really got to the finish line. It really feels like to me in Three Houses they wanted to do more with that monastery system, but they couldn't, and now they're doing it. And of course we get to the workout mini games. What was going through their minds when they put this in? Again, I love it. I'm here for it. I will do this, okay? It's just something I thought I would never see in a Fire Emblem game. It's such a silly idea, but once again, like I've said about a few other things here, it feels right at home. It really feels, in general, with this game's philosophies, they're taking off a lot of the limiters that they kind of put on themselves in terms of, what can and should, a Fire Emblem game have or not have, and they're really expanding. And some people might not like that. They might prefer a more streamlined, focused on the tactics experience. But I'm not opposed to the monastery in concept, to be honest. I think a well-executed monastery would actually be a lot of fun and a nice breather between battles. I just don't think the Monastery in Three Houses was that, and that's a big reason I didn't enjoy that game. But it looks like they're really iterating on that in an interesting way. And you know what? Exercise mini games where you gotta do push-ups to increase your strength, you know, why not? If the game comes around and it's tedious and annoying to do all these mini game activities, then you know what? I'm glad to be proven wrong. But wow, you know, if you thought the leaks were crazy before, okay, you thought when this game was leaked it looked already insane, and now this is a real Fire Emblem screenshot. This is a a general note on the presentation here. I know not everyone's a fan of the art style. I'm personally fine with it. I don't mind it. You do have to say, in terms of the overall presentation, in terms of the animation and the camera work and the way things are presented, it's much more dynamic, it's much more fluid, and, you know, not as stilted as 3D Fire Emblem has been before, because I think that's been a bit of a problem with 3D Fire Emblem. It has felt very stilted, and it was still a problem in Three Houses in terms of, you know, the camera work and the animations, and it didn't really flow. It still felt, yeah, like I said, stilted. But with this new game, it's a much more fluid, flowing kind of animation, and you know, I hate using this word regularly, but it's a bit more, you know, immersive. And oh my god, there's a wyvern! Dude, how did I almost forget about the wyvern fly game? Dude. What is this game, man? Again, it's an idea so out there, so ridiculous, but when you see it in action, you know what? Sure. It's right at home in this game, I will say that. You put this in any other Fire Emblem game, maybe in Three Houses it might fit, but you put this in any other Fire Emblem game, you'd be like, what is this doing here? But from what this game has shown, this is right at home here. And I can't wait to play this game. You know, it's just gonna be silly and fun. But yeah, what the fuck is this? So yeah, I wanted to keep this video relatively brief, relatively quick, but yeah. This game is looking insane. This new monastery is looking great. I say that as someone who despised the Three Houses Monastery. I love the iterations they're making on it. More streamlined, more active, more fun, more alive. I can't wait to get my hands on this game and play this. You know, whether it's good or bad, okay? If it's a dumpster fire, you know what? I can enjoy a good dumpster fire, but if it actually hits this right, I think this will be a lot of fun. So, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, press like. There's more Fire Emblem Engage content to come. I'm going to be going a ham on this game in the coming months, so yeah, see you guys around.